पार्ले जी बिस्किट का नाम सुनते ही हम सभी को एक गर्म चाय की प्याली और उसी के साथ पार्ले जी बिस्किट की याद आ जाती है। और इस बात की भी कि कैसे हम बिस्किट तो पूरी डिप करते थे बट प्याली से बाहर सिर्फ आधी ही आती थी। फॉर डेकेड्स नाउ, Parle G has been a most favorite tea time companion, the most affordable snack, and also a comfort food that is so nostalgia inducing. Much before Oreo popularized dunking it in milk, we had been doing that with Parle G. Parle, founded in 1929, first started with manufacturing orange candies. It was 10 years later that the company started manufacturing biscuits, which were an alternative to more elite British biscuits. From there to now, the company has come a long way. While entering the premium segment with Parle Platina in 2017 that comprises products like hide and seek biscuits, Milano cookies, Mexito nacho chips and Nutri-Crunch range of nutritious products, it recently further diversified its offerings with the launch of its Parle G Chakki Atta. The aim was to cash in on the momentum that branded atta consumption had been witnessing since the pandemic. Parle made headlines when they spoke about a surge in sales of Parle G biscuits during the lockdown. This demand was a result of people stocking up on biscuits. It also became the most affordable meal for thousands of migrant workers, who we saw with distress walking back to their villages. This brand that was started 82 years ago has stood the test of time. Despite being 8 years short of a century old, Parle has tried to reinvent itself over the years while keeping its legacy alive. A lot of love for the brand comes from nostalgia and also from the fact that despite entering new categories, launching premium products, it is still looked as an Aam Aadmi product. How they reacted during a crisis also says a lot about the ethos of the brand. Even before the pandemic hit India in full force and the government announced its first round of lockdown, Parle was prepared. Observing how things were in other countries, it had increased its production just to make sure that the market never ran out of its biscuits. What happened after the pandemic was something completely unprecedented, but we had been studying what was happening in neighboring countries or in Europe, and we decided to double down on our production, shared Mayank Shah, senior category head of Parle products. They also started shipping the products, keeping the stocks closer to the market to minimize supply chain disruption. As a result, when the lockdown was announced and most brands were caught unprepared, Parle had its products and especially Parle G in shops across the country. Having said that, Parle did meet with its fair share of troubles. With the sudden lockdown and with uncertainty looming large, there was a shortage of labor which the company was able to tackle by prioritizing its production. It stopped producing many of its offerings that were more labor intensive. As a result of this prioritizing, we were able to meet maximum demand. If at normal time the demand is 100%, during this time we saw between 160 to 170% demand. Firstly, because people were pantry loading, and secondly, because the speculative buying, explained Shah. However, this was also the time for the brand to give back to the society. The brand won a lot of love when it donated around 3 crore packets of biscuits to NGOs and the government. Parle G is a brand that stands for goodness in all sense. So each and every employee in the company lives by the philosophy of doing something for the greater good. During times of crisis, marketing budgets are usually the first to get slashed. While Parle did not cut down majority of its spends, it did rationalize its spends. During the pandemic, we did two things. Firstly, we increased our digital spends, which helped us a lot, while also continuing to advertise on TV. Secondly, we also tweaked our creatives. Our communication in the last 1 year has been very different from what we usually do. All our communication has been about what has been happening around us. We paid tribute to the known and unknown frontline workers. That communication also sent a strong signal to our internal stakeholders that it's our responsibility to rise to the occasion because so many of them were risking their lives in working during those times, and we wanted to acknowledge that. Mr. Shah said Parle G was a comfort food for most Indians, and that during times of uncertainty, it was consumed a lot. Even during earlier crises like tsunami and earthquakes, sales of Parle biscuits had gone up. He added, "This is the kind of trust people depose in the brand," he said, adding Parle's long shelf life as another reason for the preference. Have you too made memories with Parle? Let us know in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Marketing Mind for your daily dose of learning something new.